distribution of shares and collect the money for the investor on behalf of the issuer. And the next one is price stabilization, right? Remember that again, underwriting, sale, issuing, or auctions are things done in the primary market, but like things happen in primary market will have impact on the secondary market, right? Because the success of the issue and the number of the share that issued to the investor, the demand of investor in the primary market could give the hint or the information for people in the secondary market to guess what will be the future of this share price, and then they will have like their behavior in the secondary market. For price stabilization, I will have learned and remember from the previous class. So this is the action of the underwriter on the demand of the issuer. Like the issuer will request the underwriter to do this one for them. And where do they do this? It's done in the secondary market. And it will done by selling or buying security to keep the price in the secondary market will not be far from the issuing price, to make sure that you are the issuer, you determine the price for this issue. So you should determine, or you should decide the fair price, the price that's reflecting the current operation and future prospect of the firm. Should not be the like way too low price or way too high a price compared to the true value of the firm. That will be some kind of manipulation in the market, right? So that price stabilization. And we have the part regarding type of underwriting. So I will go with you this one. The first one, firm commitment. Firm commitment. This one. Now wait a minute, so I will ask someone to join. The firm commitment. Wait a minute. This one, bảo lãnh, cam kết, chắc chắn. All right. The firm commitment meaning that the underwriter. Wait a minute. The underwriter will make sure he issues all the shares for the issuer. And how do they do that? Option one. Thank you. Option one. They will buy all the share. The underwriter will buy all the share from the issuer. And then underwriter will sell to the investor. For example, I will take you this case. For example, all right, I will have this example. A firm A plans to issue 5 million shares, right? At the price of $30, maybe $30. All right, and A chooses. Is this one? Chooses to use underwriting. Approach. All right. So, for example, for case one, example like A will give to this. I will give to this guy, this underwriter, 5 million shares. This one goes to the underwriter. It could be one or many underwriter because, like, depending on the size of the EC. Now, 10 or maybe not 2.5 million shares to the investor. Right. Question for you guys: that how many shares does the firm issue successfully in the primary market? Could anyone give me the answer for this? How many shares sorry, I put the wrong one. So it should be shares, right? How many shares does the firm issue successfully in the primary market? This is firm commitment, right? Dương Linh,
Oh shit, zooming again.
are you here, Dương Linh or Linh Dương?
Fuck you.
I'm here.
Yeah. Could you give me the choice on this question?
So last person you said that the maximum is 15% of the amount.
Okay.
So
15%. Oh, that one is different, Dương. Sorry. How should I call you, Linh or Dương?
my name is Ling.
Okay, sorry for that one. So Ling, the last one is a bit different. That one for price stabilization. This one we are going for type of underwriting. All right. The function of price stabilization is that if the firm plan to issue 5 million, so the underwriter could issue more from that plan, so that they will have space to buy back in the future if they do the price stabilization. Otherwise, the number of the share is still 5 million. All right. So in this case, I'm mentioning about type of underwriting. So for the firm commitment, if the firm would like to issue 5 million, that the underwriter will make sure to issue all the shares for the issuer. And how do they do that? For the first option, they can buy all the shares from issuer and then sell back to the investor. Because the underwriter doesn't want, the main function of the underwriter is that they don't want to hold that kind of security, right? They just want to help the issuer to issue security and get the underwriting fee. So when they buy the share from the issuer, they don't have intentions to hold that one, but they need to pass on for the investor. And then when they're done with the function of underwriter, they will get the fee from the issuer, right? So keep in mind that for underwriter, the main function is that they will help the issuer to issue the share, not buying the share from the issuer for profit. All right. So in this case, firm A will deliver 5 million shares to the underwriters, and then the underwriter will approach their potential investor to sell back the share. But underwriter now just can sell back 2,500,000 shares. What will happen to the case of the firm A in this situation? How many shares they can issue from the side of firm A, right? Do you guys understand this point? If you have any questions, just raise your hands and ask questions. I don't mind, all right? Let me call someone else. Why? Right? If we open. Lý Thị Hoài.
Yes.
What do you think?
You suck.
So this part I already asked you to read at home, right, guys?
You fucking shot suck.
Right, because this one is firm commitment. So at this point, the total number of shares that firm issue is 5 million, right? Because I already sell to the underwriters. I don't care how many shares it can sell back to the investor. That's the point, the job, right? That's the side. From my side, from the side of the issuer, I could already issue the total number of the shares that I wish to. So the total amount that I can raise will based on the number of the share that I already sell out. So this one is 5 million. And because you already buy it for me and you already make sure that my 5 million are all sold out. So I will pay you underwriting fee, right? Underwriting fee will be the underwriting fee per share times the number of the shares issued successfully. So keep this one in mind. Sometimes they'll just ask you this kind of question. The second one, the second option is that the underwriter will the shares to them. Then if there's some like remaining amount of shares, no investor buy, the issuer will buy those shares. That's option 2. For example, like this. A 3.5 million. A could find the investor to buy the 5 million, one of 3.5 million share.
Anh không phải đi làm à?
Underwriter, right?
Anh Nam, anh không phải đi làm à?
Supported by underwriter. And then they have remaining 1.5, right? This one will be remaining 1.5 million shares. Will be sold out to the underwriter. So you can see like in either case, option 1 or option 2, the total number of shares that firm A could sell to the market is like 5 million, right? So because of that, it's called like firm commitment. And the same thing's happening. This one underwriting fee. In either case, I make sure that you can sell out all of that number of shares. So you have to pay me the full amount of underwriting fee. Are you guys done? Do you have any questions regarding this point? This point? Questions, guys? No? Okay, we go for the second one.
Vâng, đi trên đây xong rồi xuống đi làm này.
What is the second one? Some commitments, and we have like best effort. Underwriting. Best effort underwriting, like underwriter.
Sorry, I have a question
Yeah, right.
about
What's
the
that?
first type. Who will be the person who choose the option 1 or 2 on the firm commitment?
Yeah, this one is like, yeah, thank you for that question, Ling. So choosing option 1, option 2, depending on the firm, the issuer, because the underwriting approach is for issuing securities in the market. So it's up to the issuer to choose how will be the case, how will be the choice for my shares to be delivered into the market. So what will be the choice? So underwriters will do the underwriting contract based on the firm choice. So I sign the contract with the underwriter, and I will ask the underwriter to do some tasks for me. And this option 1 or option 2 will be included in the underwriting contract. And the same for the first part here. Preparing document for issuing registration, distribution of the share, can collect money on behalf of the issuer, and price stabilization. So this is like different kind of task for the underwriters, and this will be clearly stated in the underwriting contract. So if if the issuer say like, okay, I don't want to use the price stabilization because I already determined my issuing price for my firm is good enough, reflecting all the operation of the firm. So I think the investor in the market will not be worried about the price that I make. So I don't need you to do for me the price stabilization task. So that will be stated in the underwriting contract. And for each of the tasks that mentioned in the underwriting contract, that will be some kind of fee structure for underwriters because they will help you to do that one, right? So all of the things will be chosen by the firm, by the issuer, and the underwriter just follow the condition and terms in the underwriting contract. Is that one okay, Ling? Is that one answering?
Yeah,
Okay,
got it.
okay, thank you for that one. So we go for the second one, best effort underwriting, which is called in Vietnamese bảo lãnh cố gắng tối đa. Just wait a minute, I will put it here. Bảo lãnh cố gắng tối đa. So you see the name, right? Because it's the best effort. So the underwriter will try their best to sell the shares as many as possible for the issuer. So there's no kind of like responsibility or how to say the requirement or request to sell all the share, but I will try my best, right? For example, like this, we have example 1, example 2, and example 3 as well. No, 2 only, and 3. Example 3. So example 1 is that underwriter have the firm or the issuer to sell like in total can sell 5 million. They have like good connection with the investors. They have good network of like potential investors. The underwriter can approach all of them and can sell like 5 million shares, the total 5 million shares. for the firm. So this one is good, right? The best kind of like scenario that we can get. So the fee will be, the underwriting fee, will be calculated based on like 5 million shares, right? Because I can sell for you 5 million shares, so I already like make the good results of it. So you need to pay me for the things that I have done for you, all right? The second case that I already tried my best, but I cannot sell all the shares. I could sell only like 2 million. So it's fine because I already helped you that anyway. I already helped you to sell a number of shares. So the underwriting fee will be calculated based on the number of the shares that I already issued to you. So this one is 2 million. The last case that's okay. I also try my best, but maybe in this case, maybe my ability in this case is not big enough. Maybe the shares are not attractive to the customer, right, to the issuer. So the underwriting fee in this case will be how much here? I cannot sell any share for you. So I will accept, right? This case, I cannot do for you. I cannot help you in selling shares. So I will receive no underwriting. But keep in mind that we have preparing documents for issuing registration. We have distribution of the shares. So if you could not sell the share for the firm, but you already help them to prepare the document, so you will receive the underwriting fee regarding that task, right? Preparing document, but no underwriting fee in terms of share distribution. All right. Is that okay? All right. So we have the next one. I will erase the first part. So. Next one, third one will be all on underwriting. All on underwriting. So this one may be that underwriter will try to help, the issuer to issue all the shares or sell all the shares. Otherwise, the issue will be cancelled. Right. For example, like, I will take up here. We have two like kind of statement here. You just give me the answer true or false. First one, underwriter helps the firm to sell 5 million shares in total. So the underwriting fee will be based on 5 million shares. The second case is that the underwriter helps the firm to issue underwriting fee will be calculated based on 2 million shares. Are those true or false? What would be the answer? Fine.
In the first case, it is true, but in the second case, it is false.
Could you give me the reason? Explanation?
Because unless the underwriter helps the issuer sell all the share, or in other case, it will be cancelled because they are not sell all the share.
Okay, good point. Thank you, Frank, for that one. So in this case, the second case, right? The second case underwriter have the firm to sell only 2 million shares. But like I said previously, if you can sell for the firms like 5 million shares, that will be good, right? That will be accepted. And then it will receive the underwriting fee for 5 million shares that you already sold. But this one, since you just can sell like 2 million, so 2 million shares, sorry, is smaller than 5 million. So this one, under own or none method, right? Own or none underwriting, this issue will be canceled, meaning that no shares are issued. So no underwriting fee. No underwriting fee. Good point. Good. So we have the next case. We have mini maxi underwriting. This one a little bit similar to own or none, but it will be a bit different. Underwriter will have the issuer to sell shares at least at the minimum amount usually will be decided by the issuer. Sorry, otherwise the issue will be cancelled out. What's this? All right. So we have the case again. For example, like I stated in the underwriting contract that the minimum amount of share should be 2.5 million shares. So what would be the answer for this following question? Statement, true or false? Time.
I think the first case is true because
Okay, good.
the 4 million is bigger than 2.5 million, which is the minimum amount of shares.
Good. 4 million is greater than 2.5, right?
Yeah.
This one is the minimum amount. So the issue is accepted, and the fee will be like that, right?
Yeah.
Underwriting fee will be paid to the underwriter, and based on 4 million shares. What about case 2? Why we not accept for case 2?
Because the 2 million share is under the minimum amount.
So what will be the amount of underwriting fee that underwriter will receive?
None. Because
None of them.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that one. That's very good. Perfectly true. So this one is good point. It's not will be cancelled or not accepted, right? Underwriting will, yeah, this one will be 0. Good. So I think for underwriting approach, right? For type of underwriting, I think you just need to remember the name of the underwriting method, and then you can like figure out what will be next situation that we need to go on for this underwriting method. For example, like for mini-maxi, it's minimum and maximum, right? So we need the minimum, otherwise the issue will be canceled, and when the issue is canceled, there's no fee at all, right? For all or none, it's all of them or none of them, right? For best effort, because it's best effort, so even I can sell for you one share, you need to pay me the underwriting fee for that, right? And number 5 will be standby underwriting, right? Standby underwriting is a little bit similar to the firm commitment, but it has like requirements. Standby và lại phát hành dự phòng. So because it's standby, right? So it will not be used from the beginning of the underwriting. Will be usually used in the issue with the share purchase right. Share purchase right. So you remember share purchase right? The one that we have learned previously. So for example, like, okay. So remember that with the share purchase right, the shareholder could decide to exercise or not exercise or sell to the other investor, right? So if the share purchase right are not used by the shareholder, then there will be the number of the share that not used by the investor. And then there will be number of the share that's not sold out to the investor. So let me take this case for you. Example that deals case A, right? Firm A plans to issue 5 million shares. Number at $30. But I would like to give privilege. No, it's this one. Privilege for the current shareholder. Outstanding. Outstanding shareholder to buy the share first. So I distribute share purchase right to the current shareholder, owning total amount of outstanding. Sure. The okay, just wait a minute. So with share purchase rights, the current shareholder with the share purchase right, the current shareholder. What the current shareholder could buy new shares at a preferable price. Of $10. This one. So we have preferable price with the going with the SPR. This one $10. Right? It's so much like it's way lower than the price issued to the any investor in the market, right? $30. So it's preferable price. The second one, the offering ratio. Could you think of any offering ratio here? How many shares or how many share purchase rights that you need to own to buy a new share with the price of 10? Could you think of offering ratio? How many share purchase rights to give you the chance to buy one new share at the price of 10? Matt, can you give me the answer for that?
I think the offering ratio here is 2 SPR for one new share. Because
That's right. Why?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because there is
perfect.
5 million share to buy, to issue, and there is 10 million outstanding share. So it's like 10 million over 5 million.
Yeah, right. That's very good one. So you can like figure it out, right? The offering ratio. Give me the answer for this one first. Offering ratio, if we have like 10 million outstanding shares, so this one is already issued, right? And it's like owned by the shareholder, like we already have the meaning and definitions of the terms from the first two classes. So if we have 10 million old shares or 10 million outstanding shares, then the number of share purchase rights will be how many here? How many share purchase rights will be given?
It's like 10 million SPR.
Good. 10 million SPR. Good one. And this one is for buying 5 million, right?
Yes.
Good. 5 million. Wait a minute. What's wrong with my typing here? 5 million. For buying 5 million. Why I cannot type here? For buying 5 million. Okay. New share at $10. All right. So here we have one share purchase right. Oh, sorry. One share. At $10 will be bought if you used like 10 over 5, right? One time, and this one will be 2, right? So this one 2 SPR. Very good one. Thank you, Dad, for that one. And now we have a case right now. A case like this. Case 1. If all 10 million share purchase rights are executed or exercised by the shareholder, meaning that shareholder new share, right? So firm could issue successfully. Case 2. Sorry, wait a minute. Successfully. So under standby underwriting will not be triggered. So no underwriting fee. All right. K2. If only, let's see, 8 million share purchase rights are exercised by the shareholder, meaning that the shareholder register to buy how many new shares here, guys? Can you give me the calculation? So if this one 8 million, right? This one 8 million here. So how many new shares here? New shares bought by shareholders will be this one 8 million times 1/2. Is it correct? Right. This one will be 4 million shares. So this one 4 million shares. So meaning that the remaining 2 million share purchase rights are not exercised. And 1 million new shares are not registered to buy by the current shareholder. By current shareholder. Then normally there will be two options here, right? Normally will be two options. The first one is that okay, the firm will agree or willing to accept that 4 million new share, and they will collect the money based on that 4 million new share, right? 4 million times 10, so they will raise that amount of money. The second option is that I need to raise the amount of money with the exact amount of 5 million. So now it's just 4 million. I could not accept that. I need to find a way to sell the remaining 1 million, right? So I will sell 1 million new shares to the outside investor with the price of $30. So that's the second option. The third option is that even though I will sell out 1 million shares to the outside investor at the price of 30, but I cannot make sure that I can sell successfully, right? I cannot approach the enough amount of investors that have the need to buy my 1 million share. So the third option for the issuer is that they will use standby underwriting method. So in this case, the standby underwriting will be triggered or activated. And the underwriter will buy that 1 million shares from the issuer directly. And then the underwriter will sure they will sell out this 1 million shares back to the investor in the market, because as I mentioned before, the is that sell the share, they want to help the investor, the issuer to sell the share to get the underwriting fee, right? Not for buying the share for profit. So that's all for type of underwriting. Do you guys have any questions? Question guys? No, it's clear. All of them are clear too. Okay guys, we will move to the next one. Okay, do you have questions?
I mean, in this case, does it have any fee?
Yeah, the fee will be based on the number of the share that you buy from the underwriter.
You mean 1,000 shares?
1 million shares. Because it's standby. So the underwriting contract will be activated only in the case that the firm have some remaining share purchase rights not done by the shareholder, not like exercised by the shareholder. So if in the case one, all the share purchase rights are exercised by the shareholder, so the shareholder use all 10 million share purchase rights to buy new shares, in this case 5 million, with the price of $10. So there's no meaning of using underwriting, right? Standby underwriting. In this case, it could reduce the fee for the issuing fee for the issuer, because they use the share purchase rights and they just don't know if the shareholder could exercise all of them or not. So using standby underwriting is so much better than using the other underwriting method, because if you use the firm commitments or best efforts or none, so best efforts maybe, the underwriters feel like they don't need to do anything, right? The share purchase price will be decided by the shareholder. You don't need to do anything, and you can like have the issuer to sell own shares just based on the shareholder needs. So in this case, it's like the underwriting fee for the underwriter is so easy to have. So for the firm, just ask the underwriter to do for me if I cannot sell the share for the current shareholder. In case one, even though standby underwriting is not, will not be triggered. Sorry, I put the wrong one. For case one, will not be triggered. For case one, even though standby underwriting will not be triggered, so there will be no distribution for fee for underwriting in this case. But it's like it's standby. I already make the contract, sign the contract with you. I already wait for the situation to come up, and I wait for my task to be done. So this underwriter will receive a little amount of fee for waiting for that standby underwriting contract to be activated, but not so much amount. It's just small amount for waiting for the role to be activated. So am I answering the question? Fine.
Yes, I understand that.
Okay, thank you for that one. So now we move to Phương Thảo. Do you have any questions?
Okay, can you say that again? Why we have a share purchase price at the green line? I don't understand in that one.
In the green line?
Yeah. I don't know why we have 8 million share purchase right there.
Yeah, it's just the assumption for case two. Case two is like, if not, since we have the total amount of share purchase price 10 million, right? Because it go with the understanding, it go with the outstanding shares. Like currently in the market, we have 10 million share of the firm, like owned by the current shareholder. So remember from the previous class that with 1 O share, right? In this case, it's like the fixed rule already. This 1 O share, it will be given to 1 share purchase right? And this share purchase right will help you to buy a new share with good price, in this case, $10. So with 10 million outstanding share, we have 10 million share purchase rights. And with this amount, this 10 million share purchase rights could be owned by different shareholders in the market. I don't care how many of them. I just care that we have 10 million share purchase rights distributed to the current shareholder. And this with this 10 million, they can use 5 million new share with the price of 10, which is way lower than $30. So it's good price for the current shareholder to buy the share first before any outside investors have the chance to buy, right? So with the share purchase rights, I already mentioned that the owner of the share purchase right could decide to exercise the share purchase right, meaning that use the share purchase right to buy new share at the price of 10, or they can decide to not exercise the share purchase right, meaning that do nothing, or they can sell the share purchase right to the other investor who have the need to buy new share with the price of 10. So that's 3 options. So the case 2 here is that assume like out of that 10 million share purchase rights, only 8 million share purchase rights are done by the shareholder. So the shareholder, meaning that the shareholder just registered to buy 4 million shares at the price of 10. The remaining 2 million share purchase rights are not done because from the side of shareholder, maybe they don't have money to buy this new share. I don't have capacity anymore, right? The second reason is that even with the price of 10, but I have money to buy it, but I don't want to buy it because I assess like the future of the firm, the future of the shares, firm share is not good enough. Maybe in the future, in a couple of weeks, the firm share will down to $10 or $5, right? So that will be not good for me. I don't want to buy, so I will not exercise the share purchase right. That makes 2 million share purchase rights are not done. And that remaining 2 million share purchase rights here, equivalent to 1 million new shares, right? So that 2 million share purchase rights remaining, equivalent to 1 million new shares, and not bought by the current shareholder, right? Do you get this point?
Okay, I got your point.
Okay. So maybe I will give you like 5 minutes break first, and then we'll go back with auctioning, right? Way to do exercises. See you guys in 5 minutes.
Yeah.